I'd like to call to order our special council meeting and public hearing. This is Tuesday, December 7, 2021, 5:15 p.m. The purpose of this public hearing is to discuss a percentage increase in millage to the rollback rate, to adopt the millage rate for fiscal year 21-22, and to adopt the final budget for the fiscal year October 1, 2021 through September 30th, 2022. And Ms. Haley, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Shute.
Here.
Bishop.
Here.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Detman.
Here.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Here. And I am going to turn it over to Ms. Penny Robinson.
Good evening. I'd like to declare that the millage rate is an increase of 11.49% to the rollback rate of 5.2187. Number 3, I'd like to present and read Resolution 21-27 concerning the adoption of the 2021-2022 millage rate. Resolution adopting and confirming the levies of tax on all real and tangible personal property in the city of Sebring subject to taxation for the year 2021, 2022, and establishing an effective date.
Okay. Comments from City Council? Do we have any comments from the public? No? Okay. Requested motion?
I make a motion we adopt resolution number 2021-27, adopting a final millage rate from the general operations at a rate of 5.8184 mils on the dollar for the tax year 2021.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any further comments? No? Would you like to read it now or at the end?
You already did.
Presentation and reading of Resolution 2021-28 concerning the budget for fiscal year 21-22.
Whoa.
We got,
Vote on that.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
what I
I'm
was.
sorry.
I
Alright.
thought you was reading it again and I didn't understand that.
Okay. All right, yeah, would you call for the
Okay.
vote, please?
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
yes.
Detman.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay, sorry.
Next, I'd like to present and read Resolution 2021-28 concerning the budget for fiscal year 2021-2022. It's a resolution establishing, adopting, and confirming the budget of the City of Sebring, Florida, and accepting and approving estimated revenues, funding sources, and costs for operating and municipal expenses for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2021, and ending September 30th, 2022, and establishing an effective date.
Okay. Comments from City Council? Any comments from the public? Nope. Okay, request a motion.
I make a motion we adopt resolution 2021-28, adopting and confirming the budget of the city of Sebring, Florida, and accepting and approving estimated revenues, funding sources, and cost to operating and municipal expenses for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2021, and ending September 30th, 2022.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further comments from the public? Further comments from council? Kathy, would you call the roll, please?
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Detman.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes. Okay, with that being said, we will adjourn our meeting.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for the next meeting.
Okay, I'm going to the restroom, clean my.
US 27 North Sebring, parcel ID S 263428 A 0000130000 from the zoning of County Business District B3 to City Commercial District C1 due to annexation. And for introduction of the ordinance, Mr. Swain.
Ordinance number 1476 is entitled an ordinance of the City of Sebring, Florida, changing the zoning classification of a 1.306 acre parcel at 555 US 27 North. It then goes on to describe the legal description. Lying in, from County Business District B3 to City Commercial District C1 providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date. And the legal is the same as that which we read in 1475.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Swain. Okay, so again, the purpose of the public hearing is to receive input on an ordinance which will amend the Sebring zoning map for the property located 555 US 27 North from County Business District B3 to City Commercial District C1 due to annexation. And Ms. Dana Rydell again.
Thank you. So earlier I mentioned it's a zoning change from B3 to City Commercial C1. And we had just done the future land use change on that. So this zoning is just respecting the future land use. I'm available for any questions.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the public? Okay. Comments or questions from council? Okay, then we will adjourn the public hearing and again come back to council for questions or comments. No? Then I'll request a motion.
Approve ordinance 1476 on second and final reading as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further comments from the public? Further comments or questions from council? Kathy, call the roll, please.
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Detman.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lorenz.
Yes. Okay, we're moving along to 10F. We're about halfway through. We're going to open up another public hearing on Ordinance 1477 on second and final reading. A city-initiated request to amend the future land use map of the city of Sebring, Florida, amending 2 parcels of land comprising approximately 3.15 acres on property located at 920 and 950 US 27 North Sebring from county commercial to city commercial. For the introduction of the ordinance, Mr. Swain.
Ordinance number 1477 is entitled An Ordinance of the City of Sebring, Florida, amending the City of Sebring Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map, specifically amending 2 parcels of land totaling approximately 3.15 acres located at 920 US 27 North and 950 US 27 North. And then there's a parenthetical with a legal description or an abbreviated version of it. From county commercial to city commercial, transmitting said amendment to the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity for notification, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Swain. Okay, again, the purpose of the public hearing is to receive input on Ordinance 1477, which will amend the Sebring Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map for the properties located at 920 and 950 US 27 North from county commercial to city commercial due to annexation. Staff report, Mrs. Dana Rydell.
Thank you. This is a future land use change from county commercial to city commercial. It's 2 properties. In the next hearing, we'll discuss that they have 2 different zonings, but as it stands, we are just respecting the county's existing future land use of commercial and bringing over to city. And I'm available for any questions.
Okay. Any public comments, input, or questions? Council members? No. We will adjourn the public hearing and go back again to council questions or comments. No questions, comments? Okay. Request a motion?
Approve ordinance 1477 on second and final reading as presented.
Second.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any further comments from the public? Any further comments or questions from council members? Okay. Kathy, would you call the vote, please?
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Detman.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lorenz.
Yes. Okay, 10G, public hearing and ordinance on 1478 on second and final reading. A city-initiated request to amend the official zoning map of the city of Sebring, Florida, amending 2 parcels of land comprising approximately 3.15 acres on property located at 920 and 950 US 27 North Sebring from the zoning of County Business District B3 and County Business District B4 to City Commercial District C1. And again, Mr. Swain for the introduction of ordinance 1478.
That ordinance is entitled An Ordinance of the City of Sebring, Florida, changing the zoning classification of 2 parcels of land totaling approximately 3.15 acres located at 920 North US 27 and 950 US 27 North. And there's a parenthetical with a shortened legal description, unabbreviated, from County Business District B3 and County Business District B4 to City Commercial District C1 providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Swain. Okay, staff report, Ms. Dana Rydell again.
Good evening, Dana Riddell. I actually don't think I've introduced myself yet, even though you have. So Dana Riddell, Senior Planner with the Central Florida Regional Planning Council, for the record, just in case we didn't already have it in there. And this is just a zoning change from County B3 and County B4 to City C1. So 2 adjacent parcels, 2 commercial zonings, going over to a city zoning. And I'm available for any questions.
What's the difference in B3 and B4?
Very, very, very minimal. B4 is a grandfathered zoning designation that you no longer are able to apply to new parcels in the unincorporated Highlands County. B4 is slightly more intense than B3. Like, you might be able to do more intense uses, like some like light manufacturing, like very light, like building cabinets and things like that. More intense uses than the B3 district, but it's still not industrial.
Okay.
It was a very minimal change between the 2 districts. I'm not really sure why one got grandfathered and the other didn't, but we're happy to have commercial zoning, so.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, any questions or comments from the public? Any questions or comments from council members? Okay, we'll adjourn the public hearing. Again, going back to questions or comments from the council members. Nothing? Request a motion?
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 1478 on second and final reading as presented.
Second, anybody?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further comment from the public? Any further comments or questions from council members? Okay, Kathy, would you call the roll, please?
Bishop,
Yes.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Detman,
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes. Okay, moving on to 10H, another public hearing. Public hearing on ordinance 1479 on second and final reading. A city-initiated request to amend the future land use of the city of Sebring, Florida, amending 2 parcels of land comprising approximately 10.92 acres, that's the most so far, on property located at 2202 US 27 North and 33133 Northside Drive, Sebring, from county commercial to city commercial. Mr. Swain, if you will, please.
Ordinance number 1479 is entitled an ordinance of the City of Sebring, Florida, amending the City of Sebring Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map, specifically amending 2 parcels of land totaling approximately 10.92 acres located at 2202 US 27 North and 33133 Northside Drive. There's a parenthetical with an abbreviated legal description. From county commercial to city commercial, transmitting said amendment to the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity for notification, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Swain. Okay, the purpose of the public hearing is to receive public input on ordinance 1479, which will amend the Sebring Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map for the properties located at 2202 US 27 North and 33133 Northside Drive, from county commercial to city commercial due to annexation. Mrs. Dana Rydell, please.
Got it, thank you. Dana Riddell, Senior Planner for the record with the Regional Planning Council. This is a future land use change from city commercial to, from county commercial to city commercial due to annexation, and I'm available for any questions.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the public? Comments or questions from council members? Okay, we'll adjourn our public hearing and come back to council questions or comments. Question motion.
Approve ordinance 1479 on second and final reading as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments from the public? Any further comments or questions from council members? Kathy, would you call the roll, please?
Bishop,
Yes.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Detman.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes. Okay, guess what? We have another public hearing. This one is going to be 10I, public hearing and ordinance on 1480 on second and final reading. A city-initiated request to amend the official zoning map of the city of Sebring, Florida, amending 2 parcels of land comprising approximately 10.92 acres on property located at 2202 US 27 North and 33133 Northside Drive, Sebring, from the zoning of County Business District B3 to City Commercial District C1. Mr. Swain.
Ordinance 1480 is entitled an ordinance of the City of Sebring, Florida, changing the zoning classification of 2 parcels of land totaling approximately 10.92 acres located at 2202 US 27 North and 33133 Northside Drive. There's a parenthetical with an abbreviated legal description. Then from County Business District B3 to City Commercial District C1, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Swain. Okay, the purpose of the public hearing is to receive input on ordinance 1480, which will amend the Sebring zoning map for the properties located at 2202 US 27 North and 33133 Northside Drive from County Business District B3 to City Commercial District C1 due to annexation. And again, Ms. Dana Rydell.
Thank you. And for my grand finale, Dana Riddell, Senior Planner for the record. This is a zoning change from B3 County Business District to City Commercial District C1, and I'm available for any questions.
Okay, any comments or questions from the public? This is your chance to speak. This is your last chance to speak on all of these. Okay, any comments from council members? Okay, all right, adjourn the public hearing. Council questions or comments? Request a motion.
Approve ordinance 1480 on second and final reading as presented.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any further comments from the public? Any further comments or questions from council members? Kathy, call the roll one more time.
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
Amen.
Denton.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much, Dana.
Thank you, gentlemen,
Appreciate
for
it.
listening.
Thank you.
Okay, so that completes our public hearing. So I'm glad we're through that. And most of those were on second reading, so we won't be doing that. There was a couple at the
Do we have
beginning that
more of
was
these
first
things?
reading, so we will come back and visit those again
We have a
on,
lot more.
I guess, the 21st. So business from the audience, I do have Miss Linda Kohlemeyer.
Hello.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And you'd like to talk to us about lights not working in the Civic Center area.
Yes, gentlemen. Linda Kalarick. We moved here 2.5 years ago from Indiana, and we are delighted to be residents of Spring Lake, enjoying our new home. Last night I came out of the Sebring Historical Society after dark, and the lights aren't working outside. There are 3 lights on our side where the Sebring, and one works, one is flickering, may or may not work, most time doesn't work, and the third one doesn't work at all. The lights across the parking lot and in front of your Civic Center, none of them are working. And you've scheduled a public meeting for a week from tonight, so I thought if you weren't aware that they were not working, I almost felt, because they have not been working. I came out of a meeting about a month ago, and they said somebody hit the transformer or something, but it had just happened a month ago, but they're still not working. So I just wanted to let you know before your public meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you very much. Just had a question,
Yes.
real quick.
Yes.
About what time was that? Was it? I know.
About 8 o'clock?
Oh, okay. I just thought that it might have been something with the time change, but okay. Mr. Nathlick, I presume you'll handle that.
Yes, sir.
He was
Okay.
writing away.
All right, thank you very much for bringing that to our attention, and it is very important, especially for next week, but anytime you see anything like that, or anyone does, and for those people at home that might be watching this on TV, please let us know, because, we just don't have all the eyes and ears, and especially after dark. It's, most of the city employees are off then, so please let us know. Thank you. City Attorney's business.
Nothing further, sir.
City Administrator's business.
Good evening, Council. Agenda item 13A is approval of collective bargaining agreement with the police union for contract years 2021 through 2024 and the accompanying resolution 2021-33. The union voted to approve this agreement. Changes are shown in red, and I can go over these if you like, or if you have any questions, either Penny or I can answer your questions, I believe.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nicklin. Council members, start with Chief of Police.
No, actually,
Ex-chief of
being
police.
that I'm pretty familiar with the VA contracts, I did read through it, and I communicated with Chief Hoagland today, and I think they did a very good job. It's a very fair contract, and it's baby steps, and it's actually, we're working in the right direction. I think it's a good document.
Very good. Mr. Bishop? Mr. Carlisle?
I agree with Councilman Detman. We have to do something, and we have to do it sometimes in baby steps because of finance. Thank you for a good document.
Mr. Stewart?
I'm good.
Okay. I just want to say to our police, first of all, thank you very much for your service to our community. I personally want to also say that I would like to back our police department. I know there's a lot of places in this country that they're having issues with that, but I believe I speak on behalf of our council and our city that our police department is extremely important to us, and we want to back you guys 100%.
That's right.
So, I don't know how other people can think of defunding the police or anything like that.
It's bizarre.
My only wish is that we could pay you guys a lot more, because I know you're working.
Right.
Amen.
So unfortunately, we are limited to, we're a relatively small community, so we are somewhat limited, but we're behind you guys 100%. So thank you.
Charlie, I actually saw today on one of the news stations that there was some commentary about the COPS grant that came up way back in the 80s under President Clinton and had been moved forward. How it's going to come out, I understand it's a positive move in the right direction. So I think some of those people who are on the fringe there are talking about defunding are going to be awfully disappointed if they do fulfill the COPS grant program, and I think that would be a wonderful thing because it's helped police departments over the last 30, 40 years immeasurably. I'd like to make a motion since I'm the liaison to the police department.
Yes, sir.
Number one, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the contract as presented for contract years 21 through 2024. Authorize the city administrator to sign. Number two, and approve the resolution 2021-33 authorizing the budget amendment number 28 as described, as attached.
I'll second that.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any comments from the public? Any comments or further questions from council members?
I just want to say thank you to the councilman for finally putting our police officers in good vehicles. And I've talked to some of the ones that's got the new vehicles, and they're excited about them. So.
Good. It may take us a while to replace them all, but over the
Right,
years,
yeah.
I think,
Well, we're like,
it is a move in the
we're
right
talking about-
direction.
It's baby steps, but
Yep.
we're doing everything we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Very good. Okay, have a motion and a second. Kathy, would you call the roll, please?
Bishop.
Yes.
Carlisle.
Yes.
Detman.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Nicklick.
Council, agenda item 13B is options concerning the fire assessment. Government Services Group has provided two options. One is continue and maintain the current fire assessment at 25% using the current methodology that was last updated in 2014, 2015. That cost would be $15,500. And the second option is to update the fire assessment methodology using historical demand methodology. If this option is selected, the study will capture call data for newly annexed service area cost would be a total of $26,500, and that's in attachment B.
Okay. Questions or comments from council members?
Well, can you explain that a little bit, please?
The advantages of one over the other,
Yes.
Scott, if you would mind.
So, I'm gonna say it's the same methodology, but right now you all are capped at 25%. Okay,
Right.
so without going back out and re-noticing the entire customer base, we can't go up in the fire assessment any further than 25%. If they provide option number 2 study, then you would have the opportunity to go up, as far as you would like, up to 100%, and at some point you can make a decision based upon, those numbers, whether or not you want to take your next step to 50% or something of that nature, but it would allow you to increase the fire assessment over the next several years. Obviously, GSG recommends that you do this anyway every, 5 to 6 years, if not more frequently, just so that you're capturing the calls for service from each of the categories.
This would include, from my understanding, the new annexed area. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
In other words, it gives us a little clearer picture of where we are by the category as well as the new properties.
Yeah. And it also gives us
Correct.
the ability to move from that 25
Yeah.
to possibly 50% if we want to. We don't have to make that decision now. We can leave it at
And do
25%.
can we recapture that 10 or 11 extra $1,000 that we?
Yeah, probably moving it up 1% would do that. So, personally, I think it's a good idea to go with the second option and give ourselves some leeway for the future and also have a more current study.
I'm curious, there's no recommendation from staff. Why is that?
Actually, I'd recommend doing option number 2.
Mhm.
You gotta do it anyway. We might as well capture or incorporate all of the calls on the newly annexed area, because that may have a positive, don't really know yet, but it may have a positive impact for at least the commercial customer base or category.
Okay.
So I would recommend using option number 2. In fact, it was less expensive than I thought it was gonna be, because I figured it was gonna be approaching the $40,000 number, so. I'd recommend doing option number 2, plus it allows you to move forward with adjusting the fire assessment up if you choose to do so. Right now, you're stuck at 25% until we do this. Theoretically, we could do option number 1 and notice all the customers,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what you gained there.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
And you said it was recommended anyway to do this ever so often.
Correct.
The calls can change between categories and shift more to one or other, and they want to make sure that you're charging the categories the correct. for
Makes it
proportion.
more legally defensible
Right.
if you change it, if you at least do this every few years.
I have one question in regards to it, though, and it does the property classifications, but we also respond to accidents on Highway 27, for instance. There is no classification for that, is that correct?
I believe that's correct. I don't think they utilize that type of data in this.
In this, so it just all
Correct.
still comes back to
Because
the
you
property.
can't tie it to, how do you tie it to an address?
You can't
Well,
charge a service fee for first responder medical. And that's what they're responding to. You can on the fire side.
I see.
EMS,
Okay.
you couldn't have an EMS one.
Right, yeah, okay. All right. So the property owners get to pay.
And it's for all the expenses, that they look at that allow for that service.
Right. Okay. Okay, I'd like to request a motion.
I make a motion that we do option 2. Do you want me to read it, Kathy? Okay.
I'll put it in the minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Do we have any comments from the public? Any further comments or questions from council members? How about you, Mr. Mayor? Okay. All right, Kathy, would you call for a vote, please?
Bishop,
Yes.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Getman.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, let's see. 13C, Mr. Nicklick.
13C are letters of support for EDA grant applications. We received the two documents that are attached from the county, one coming from the EDC and one coming from the TDC. And they are looking to apply for grants and looking for letters of support from the city for each of those grants. One's for a drainage EDA grant application for the Sebring Regional Airport. And the second is to do a destination master plan and strategic plan for pandemic recovery. That's submitted by the TDC. And it's an EDA grant application as well.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the public? Questions or comments from council members? Okay, request a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve letters of support and authorize the mayor's submission for both the EDA grant applications as presented.
Second. Okay, Kathy, excuse me, any further comments from the public? Further comments or questions from council members? Okay. Kathy, would you call for the vote, please?
Bishop,
Yes.
Carlisle,
Yes.
Getman.
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes. Is that all for the city administrator, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Let's go down to the last and final city clerk's business.
Councilman Stewart, payment bill, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any comments from the public?